Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network channel on YouTube. I'm your host, Mr. Prime Real Estate, Ric Davis.
And I'm your host, the Texas Real Estate King, Larry W. Brooks.
Every week, the King and I will provide you exclusive access to our network of lenders, investors, and real estate professionals from both the commercial and residential real estate sectors.
Now, are you millionaire minded? Or maybe you're a millionaire in the making. Make sure that you subscribe so you can get connected to the network. And always remember, the Prime Real Estate Network, where millionaires are in the making.
Create wealth for generations.
What's up, Prime Real Estate Network listeners? It's your man, Larry W. Brooks, a.k.a. the Texas Real Estate King. Hey, when you get a moment... What's up, Prime Real Estate Network listeners? It's your man, Larry W. Brooks, a.k.a. the Texas Real Estate King. Hey, when you...
Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm your host, Ric Davis. If you don't follow me on social media, I invite you to do so at Prime Real Estate Ric. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in residential or commercial real estate anywhere in the great state of Texas, but especially here in our lovely city of Houston, please feel free to reach me directly on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Ric. As always, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you this week. And I want to thank everyone in the audience for tuning in and checking out the show this week. We have a really exciting show planned for you all. We have a highly successful real estate rock star broker here on the show. She's going to share everything about success tips and best practices. So look, take some time, text, call, DM, let everyone know it's time for the Prime Real Estate Network, and we have a great show planned. So I want to take some time to introduce my co-host. He is not only a highly successful real estate broker, he's a multi-time author. He's a serial entrepreneur and the proud proprietor of the Pure Hustle clothing brand. I want to thank him so much for sitting in with us like he does every week here on the show. And I'd like to welcome the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks. What's going on?
Whoa. What's up, Rick?
Good to see you, man.
For the show, baby.
Yeah. Hey, look, man, good to have you. Great to see you, man. The past week has been just exciting in the world of real estate and business. Yeah. Everything is so fast moving right now, man. The market's picking up. Yeah. Interest rates are staying flat or getting lower. So it's a great time to be in the industry. So what's been going on with you, man? And what's been going on in the world of the Texas Real Estate King?
Hey, man, I just first off want to tell everyone that's tuning in, please like, subscribe. You know, it helps in the algorithm. I know you hear that all the time through YouTube, but by all means, share the platform. We would love to have new visits, new blood, and things of that matter. But, you know, Rick, man, the thing that's really been stepping up for me, man, I've been having a great time getting back out and building relationship currency, man, networking with people. Had an opportunity on Saturday. I'm a part of a running group called ZFT. They're based here in Houston as well as in Dallas. A great friend of ours, MT, Melanie, she actually introduced me to the organization last August. And this year they celebrated their 6th anniversary here in the Houston area. Had an opportunity to go out. It was over 400, close to 500 people that showed up to this event. And man, it was amazing. We were in 3rd Ward area of Houston, Texas, the Edo area. And we went for a 5K. And man, when I say the energy was beautiful, the people were beautiful. We had that H-Town heat that was out there. So man, it was just a great opportunity, man. And then earlier on yesterday, had an opportunity to join some of our team members. Some of the Brooks and Davis agents went over and explored a priority title, had an event where they were sponsoring a Wind Down Wednesday. So had the team members out there socializing, meeting new people, again, building up that continuity, building up that relationship currency. And then left there, had an opportunity to go over to a White Star title event with our guy, Kip Edwards, man, amazing event. A new venue off of Washington, where they a new bar. I think the guy name is Jim. Jim just acquired a new bar. He had us over there for a networking event. Again, meet new people, building up relationship currency. And that's kind of how we get to growing, man. That's how you make sure that your funnel of business, your funnel of communicating and new people is always continuing to turn. And so it's been a good week, man. Staying busy.
You know, The interesting part about this, and the one of the things I love for you to share with the audience is how these functions, networking, building that relationship currency, but it also adds to the work-life balance. I
Yeah.
think sometimes, especially as a business owner and entrepreneur, we invest so much time in the business we have for our brands and organizations that sometimes we don't necessarily appreciate the value of going out
Mhm.
and relaxing, getting out there, having fun, taking those vacations, having that time to decompress. So, how
Yeah.
important to you in your line of work and the way you've built your businesses is that? How important is the work-life balance aspect?
Yeah. I always say this, it's very difficult being an entrepreneur and actually believing in a work-life balance thing. I think that you
Mhm.
get to the point where when you need to shut it down, take a break, recalibrate yourself, you do that. Like
Mhm.
nothing's gonna change, everything will be okay. The world is not gonna explode, nothing's gonna, it's not gonna burn down. It'll come, everything will come back together. So by all means, when you need to shut it down, you shut it down. But you definitely want to always be out exploring and being involved with things. So I think that when I think about work-life balance, I don't know if it's a true thing that exists, but for the most part, when you feel like you need it or you feel like you need to decompress, you do it. For me, and a friend pointed this out to me. They say, you ever thought about you run, you work out, like that's your way of decompression. That's your my solitude. That is my mental health, right? And so it is right. Like I enjoy it at this point. I used to say, man, I hate working out, but I got to do it because I want this, I want that look. But now I find myself enjoying it. I'm getting up, I'm excited about getting it in, and then the rest of my day runs smooth. And then I find myself in the evening not doing anything real stressful, but instead of sitting in front of my laptop or sitting on my phone on a couch looking at TV, I'll grab my
Mhm.
phone and I'll go for an hour walk. By while I'm doing my hour walk, I'm touching bases with people. Hey, how did your day go? Or I'm sending out messages saying, hey, you know what? I just created an amazing new book bundle. How about you check it out? So I'm still kind of doing work activities while I'm actually doing something that I enjoy, which is walking and decompression, as you say.
And that's exactly what I wanted you to touch on. So I appreciate your transparency, is because I think that's the part that a lot of business owners don't always understand is that if you organize your time,
Yeah,
the things that you enjoy can also help to build your business and
yeah,
you can also be efficient on both ends. So thank you so much, man. And
great facts.
speaking of like the importance of relationship currency, could you share
Yeah,
with our audience a little bit about your relationship with this week's guest,
yeah,
how you were able to meet her, and
yeah.
how you were able to have her sit in on the show with us and share her knowledge?
Yeah, man. Here's the thing, and it's like kind of like I always say, man. We want to identify people that can bring value to the show, people that are in our industry or in the entrepreneurship journey that are really doing good things, doing positive things, having great energy. And so today's guest, I actually had started following on social media and just really paying attention to her business and her consistency, man. And so I was like, you know what? She's in a different marketplace. I know she spent some time in Atlanta. She's now in the North Carolina area and just really still
Mm.
exploding, still doing the most amazing things. And one of the things I'm excited about, she's going to talk about her journey of now bringing on new agents. So, I love brokers that are bringing on agents and how we plan on using our wisdom and our tutelage in order to train them up. So it was a very easy ask. We've been following each other. We've shared advice. We've shared comments. We've shared each other's posts when it comes to social media. The things that you do when you're building a relationship. And so that it was an easy ask, man. And I'm happy that she's joining us.
Hey, look, man, without any further ado, I like to introduce a real estate rock star broker, one of the most successful real estate brokers, an expert at team building. I want to thank her so much. And I'd like to introduce to our audience the owner of Keys and Company Realty, Miss Tenial Spencer.
Hello. How
Hey,
y'all
what up?
doing?
We're good. We're good. Again, thank you so much for joining us. We really
Thank
appreciate it.
you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Tennille, we have to ask first thing first, for those in our audience who are meeting you for the first time, could you introduce yourself, introduce your real estate company, and let us know something about your organization that makes you different from the other brokerages people may have had experience with?
So again, my name is Tenial Spencer with Keys and Company Realty. I started my firm in 2018. I just took a chance. I cut my teeth at Keller Williams, and I was just like, I think I can do this
Yeah.
on my own. Um, after all, people buy from people.
That's right.
And
Right.
and I built my business on relationships and establishing a rapport with the people that I knew. And I just said, I'm going to rock it out. And so that's what I did. I just kind of launched and just took off. So, in terms of my business itself, I rocked it out for a long time by myself. Um,
Oh, wow.
when you're getting started, it's like you don't really know what you're doing, kind of,
Mhm.
trying to fumble
Mhm.
through it and figure things out. So I did it by myself for a while. And then, as Larry said, now I'm kind of taking on the task of bringing other people on. I'm like, come on, let's go. Let's do it.
One of the great things about having you on the show is that you give our audience an opportunity to learn from a real estate broker who's built a brand and built a company in more than one market. One of
Yes.
the things that make you original and unique is that you have a different perspective as far as how different states
Mm,
act within the real estate industry and how
yes.
different markets can react to a similar marketing campaign. So could you just talk to our audience a little bit about how you've learned that as a broker to adjust your marketing and your recruitment efforts as you change to different cities and locales?
Absolutely. So again, I started my business in 2018 in North Carolina and did a lot of marketing and branding as an individual because I hadn't brought on agents yet. But obviously, your sphere of influence is a little bit broader, and with people that you know and the people that you grew up around. So then I moved to Atlanta for a couple of years. Well, that changed things a little bit because I really didn't know a lot of people.
Right.
But what I did was, again, began to build on that foundation of networking and developing relationships. I met some wonderful, wonderful people. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Ramon Tooks.
I have. I've heard of Ramon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so I did a lot of his flipology conferences and things like that. And during the conferences, I was able to meet a lot of different people. So again, just developing that network and going out to different functions. And turns out I ended up having some family in
Really?
Atlanta.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I know, how about that, right? I had a lot of family in Atlanta that I didn't know about.
Mhm.
And I was able to just kind of work it from that standpoint. But mainly social media was my tool for actually getting my name and my brand out there and being
Well,
successful.
it made it all the way up to Texas, so you, by all means, you were doing very well when it came to
Right,
social
absolutely.
media. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, yeah. Those algorithms are powerful. I mean,
Yeah,
I went from having a small social network in North Carolina to, after I started meeting people and friending people on Facebook in Atlanta, then it just
yeah.
kind of exploded. So just utilizing those networks, social media platforms.
Now, I appreciate you talking a little bit about how important it is to be comfortable getting out of your comfort zone, going to different markets, interacting, building that relationship currency. One of the things that Larry and I love speaking with business owners like yourself about is the team building aspect,
Yes,
the team leadership aspect.
sure.
Have you found there to be some best practices that other team leaders and real estate brokers may be able to implement as far as going out, meeting those talented, those best and brightest, but then at the same time illustrating your vision for how you can assist them to build their real estate business?
Sure. So for me, when it came to the idea of team building, it was a little bit intimidating at first,
Mhm.
just because, again, I was on my ship by myself, grinding it out, working hard. But I also quickly realized that the best way to make more money is to reproduce myself, right? You
Okay.
have to
Hey,
reproduce yourself.
duplication. Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. And so
Yes.
for me, as far as picking out the biggest and brightest talent, I think, and I want to sound all spooky and deep, but I believe those people were drawn to me, right?
Good.
Mhm.
Good.
I believe they were placed in my path. And
Mhm.
so for a lot of people, it was a lot of my clients were single mothers
Yeah.
who were working usually jobs that they didn't want to be in.
Yeah.
And I was able to kind of give them my testimony of how I, activated my faith and stepped out into entrepreneurship.
Right.
And selling, real estate became my path to freedom, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people were inspired by that story, right? Now, whether or not they actually finished their journey and actually, got their real estate license is one thing, but I did realize that through my story, I was inspiring a lot of different people to walk the same path, right?
Yep.
So I had that path. And then as far as recruiting the biggest and brightest, I look for who's hungry, right? Who has that dog in the fight? Because not everybody is a salesperson, right?
Right. Yep.
Or they just don't have that get up and go get them, right?
Yep.
They don't have the follow-up, the follow-through, I don't care that it's raining outside. I'm gonna go outside and door knock anyway. I don't care that it's raining, that it's cold and windy outside. I'm gonna put a sign in the yard today, right? Not everybody has that tenacity and that strength. So just looking for people with qualities like that, and who's able to talk and carry on conversations with strangers. Like I can walk up to anybody and start a conversation about something.
Right? Yeah.
So just having that personality, the winning personality, and the tenacity to want to get up and do something better. And
I'm kind of like you. I am a manifestation type person. I believe you can attract the like-minded people, the people that you want to be around you, the people that you want to grow within your circle, the people that you don't mind pouring into with your vision. So bringing those people in, and it's really like you said, you got to be willing to talk to people and communicate. So, and I think a lot of times when people, watch these shows on TV, they think real estate is just about showing houses, and it's much deeper than that. We really build our business off of building a relationship with people that want to tell other people about how amazing or how impressionable we were to them. So your process and your strategy on finding the right people is the way to go.
Thank you. Yeah, because I was worried about that for a while. I was like, well, Lord, how do I pick the people, instead of realizing that they're going to come to you? Energy attracts energy. Like-mindedness attracts like-mindedness. And I had to just realize one day the people that are supposed to come will come. And
that's right.
That's that.
You just spoke so eloquently about inspiration and how you have your events and you speak to people and you let them know about your story, and your story inspires them. So for those who've gotten into the industry after speaking with you, their motivator and inspiration, so you will serve as that for them. My question for you is that what did you do before real estate? Who served as an inspiration or a catalyst, or what was that tipping point that motivated you from what you were doing previously to get involved in entrepreneurship, to become a businesswoman, and to own your own real estate company?
So prior to being a realtor, which is, of course, how I started out, I was a mortgage loan officer for 7 years, I think. It was about 7 years. And I hated it.
It's so different. I don't think people realize how different it is on the sides, right? Like when people think real estate, they throw it all in the same basket, but it's a difference between being a realtor than it is being a mortgage broker. So a mortgage person. So get more to that. Yeah, why you dislike that? Yeah.
So banking, can be very dry, right?
Mm-hmm.
It can be very dry and very conservative. And despite some of my appearance, I'm not very conservative at all. I like to have a good time. I like to talk to people. I like to laugh. I kind of prefer a more relaxed environment, right? And so I went to this job every day, and actually it was about 2 or 3 that I ended up rotating through. And, I was like, you know what, Tenial, this is just not it. It's a means to an end, right? I can make money, obviously, but it just wasn't my passion. It wasn't what I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I remember going to one of my clients' closings and looking at the HUD statement and looking at that line where that realtor got paid. And I was like, that looks real sweet over there. And at the time, I was actually a mortgage loan officer, and I was working part-time for a non-compliant rental company. What they did was they refurbished or rehabbed homes and then put renters in them until they could afford to purchase, right? Interesting model.
Yeah.
I won't name the company. But the owner said, we are so out of compliance. We need someone to get their real estate license. So if NCREC or North Carolina Real Estate Commission comes in, we won't be shut down.
Yeah.
I raised my hand, pick me, I'll do it. I'll go get my license. And so the rest is history in terms of me getting my license. As far as who inspired me, I really didn't know very many real estate professionals. There was one lady who sold me my first home way back long time ago. And I can maybe her, but no one really inspired me to do it. I just knew that I would enjoy it based on some of my previous experiences with the rental company that I was working for. I was like, now, I can do this. I could do this. Yes.
Now I got to ask you this question because you just mentioned how different working on the mortgage side is as opposed to working on the real estate side.
Yes.
You didn't have anyone to introduce you per se. So how surprising was it when you actually made the transition? How surprising was it the things that you would have to do to be a successful realtor versus the things that were required to be a successful mortgage loan officer? Because like you said, the personalities and things seem so different.
Completely different, right? So for me, it was like I found my tribe. I found my lane. This is my lane, right? Because, sitting behind an office or a desk in an office for hours and hours on, I couldn't do that and be the best version of myself. But you put me out in front of people and allow me to talk and build those relationships and cultivate relationships. That's me all day long. So, the contrast was just amazing. And I just realized that was just kind of my calling. I felt like it was a calling more so than anything. Yeah.
I want to touch on that as well, because when I got introduced to the industry of real estate, it was through the mortgage aspect of it. So I first started off as a loan officer too.
Yeah.
It's a totally different ballgame, right? Like people and their numbers, because you're dealing as a loan officer, you're really picking this phone up and talking to the consumer or talking to the buyer. And when you're having a conversation with the buyer, it's always so serious because it's documentation of their finances and their credit. And people are so sensitive about their credit and their monies. And they want to, even when they want to be honest with you, they still kind of lie to you about some of the stuff they got going on.
Liars are liars.
Yes, it's so crazy. And so when you finally when you get on the other side, and your business is actually dealing with them from the fun stand of view, meaning we're going to look at properties. We can be excited. We're going to talk about this person that got pink walls in their house and why did they do that? Like it's a different kind of energy of fun when you're dealing with them from that side versus their documentation of their checks and stuff. Oh yeah.
Right. But it's also helpful, and I'm sure you've experienced this too, that you do know both sides because you're able to walk a buyer through from start to finish, right?
Yeah.
And you're able to kind of run numbers and kind of fill in some gaps. And it's less easy for somebody to run game on you when you've been a mortgage loan officer.
That's right. That is the truth. You'd be like, nah, that don't make sense. Like
it doesn't sound right. But to your point though, you're able to establish those and cultivate those relationships. And really you end up being, auntie, uncle, sister, friend, cousin, people, especially if they're coming out of relationships or they just got married or, people get very personal during the home buying process.
Right.
So you end up sometimes becoming more so than, professional, you end up being family.
Yeah. No doubt about it. And that's when you've done it right. When you getting invited to events that your clients are hosting.
Exactly. That's right.
You're invited. You getting invited to the cookouts or something. You didn't do it all the way right. So if you've built that relationship to where you getting invited to things, you've done it right.
Yes. Yep.
I have a question for you, Tenial, that I have to ask for all those aspiring realtors, those recently licensed or those that are currently in real estate school studying towards their license.
Sure.
What would your advice for them be in regards to what to look for from their first broker when they're getting out of real estate school, they're becoming licensed. In your opinion, what is it that a newly licensed agent should be looking for from mentorship standpoint?
Servant leadership.
Mm.
Someone who actually is not afraid to get in the trenches with you. And someone who's done it. I can't tell the number of times I've experienced someone who's giving me advice, but they've never actually sold.
Yeah.
Or they haven't sold in a long time.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you haven't sold in this recent market or in the last 5 years, the last 10 years, I'm sorry, it's not a whole lot you can share with me because the market shifts and changes, right? We know that. So servant leadership. Also, you want somebody who's going to actually allow you to build a business or give you advice on how to scale your business, right? Because some brokers, they want to keep you and hold on to you, right? Which is great for their pockets, but they need to show you the game.
Yeah.
They need to show you the business. Yeah. And allow you to make the decision if you want to stay because you're comfortable, or if you want to spread your wings and fly, right? I'm not in the business of gatekeeping. Yeah. If I have secrets, I actually share because I believe it all comes back to you, right? It comes back and you'll end up being blessed anyway. So that's just kind of my philosophy about that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a great philosophy.
You and give you good information, good marketing materials, good sales strategies, all that's nice. Yeah. But if they can't get in the game with you and show you how to make money, I'd steer clear from them.
Because it's funny that you mentioned it, because because the thing about learning and then having that broker or that coach or that actually still touches the field from time to time to be able to walk through. Sometimes you don't even know what you're not coaching a person on, or that you're not touching on with a person because you haven't done it in so long. So I was out actually this past weekend. We have a new agent. I was actually out driving and going on listing appointments with him. I mean, not listing appointments, I'm sorry, buyer appointments, showing properties with him. And as I was going through the process with him, I even remember some of the things that, I just forget to coach when I'm sitting in front of him versus when I'm out in the field, walking through the process of opening the door, how to be patient, because sometimes the system don't want to work quickly. So don't blow up, be patient. And it's the small things, right? Because we want to territory. No, just relax. It's okay. These things happen. It's happening to me. It's going to happen to you. Yeah. So we definitely need to have someone that's still out there, at least touching or putting you in a position where they have mentors that's still touching the process. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Ms. Spencer, I want to thank you so much for not only your time, but your candor and transparency. I think a lot of times, especially when it comes to broker best practices, sometimes the competitive nature that real estate breeds keeps a lot of those best practices in the shadows, behind closed doors, in a locked vault. So I want to thank you so much for being so candid with some of the things that have helped you be successful as a salesperson, as a business leader. So for those in our audience that don't follow you on social media, because you share social media handles so that they could tap in, become a part of the movement, because you're so dynamic of a public speaker that I want people to be able to follow you and be able to tap in and be a part of any of your events that are coming up in the future. So please just share some contact information with our audience.
Sure. You can follow me on Facebook. It's Keys and Company Realty. Should be pretty easy to find. The same on Instagram. Those are my business pages. Of course, my personal, I kind of want, keep that personal. Listen, know you like that.
Just DM me that one. Just DM me that one. I'm just saying.
Right.
That's where the vacations take place at. Okay.
That's right.
Come on.
But it's Keys and Company Realty on both platforms. I'm working on some other things, expanding a little bit. I need to get on YouTube and all this other stuff. It's hard to keep up sometimes with social media, but definitely those two platforms, Keys and Company Realty. Yep. And I can be reached at 336-455-1531. And my email address is info@keysandcompanyrealty.com. And I think that covers it.
Hey, I want to thank you so much.
Out there in that North Carolina area, she is bringing on new agents. If you got to be like-minded, though. And so, by all means, tap in.
That part. Yes, you have to be like-minded.
Teachable, coachable, and like-minded. No doubt about it.
Yes.
Hey, training, speaking engagements, all that kind of stuff. So let's reach out to Ms. Spencer for all of those things, because I think your mentorship and the motivation, inspiration that you give those that you speak to is something that I think so many brokers could take advantage of.
Yeah.
And just having that energy around their newbies,
Yes.
I think
Yes.
can be the battery that they need in their back to get out here and make it happen. So,
Yes.
Tenial, thank you so much for your time. If there's any messages you ever would like to spread to our audience, please reach out to Larry and myself because you always have a seat here at the Prime Real Estate Network. Thank you
Yes,
so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No doubt. Thank you so
Appreciate you,
much.
Queen. Until next time, thank you.
Take care.
You too. Come on, Larry. That was a good one right there, brother,
That's
man.
good, man.
Like,
I love the energy, man. We bring on the right
right.
people. They bring the right energy, and that, like that, like I love people that don't mind sharing. Like she said, her ultimate compliment is for for her agents to get to a level of creating their own business, their own success model. So, man, you can't do nothing but be happy about that. That's one of the most complimentary. As a broker, that's one of the most complimentary things that could take place, bro.
That's outstanding, man. So, the great thing about it, man, is that with this show, we get to be able to have the people in our audience connect,
Yeah.
interact with some of the thought leaders and the best business leadership out there. So, kudos to you, man. I urge everybody to continue to build up that relationship currency, to make it happen, to get out there and push your businesses forward, man. So,
Yeah.
like we do every week, we coming up on another beautiful weekend here in the city,
You
man.
are, man.
What's going on in the world of the Texas Real Estate King, man? What can everybody in the city of Houston look forward to enjoying this weekend?
No doubt, man. So tonight I'm actually going to be heading over to Vic and Anthony's. NSN Houston is hosting another event. I think it's called Man That Lead. And so that's always a great event where they bring out, leaders in the sales community. And they just talk about how it is that they lead their organizations and their team members. So I'll be attending that this evening. I want to also give a cordial invite to any of those that are looking to get in shape. You're trying to get your heart rate up just the right way. ZFT, the running group that I'm a part of, is ZFT_Houston. Please feel free to come out on Saturday mornings. We meet up at Emancipation Park about 8 o'clock. And at 8:30, we between 8 o'clock and about 8:15, we do our stretching. And then at 8:30, we start our actual run or walk. It's not mandatory for you to be a sprinter or anything like that. We do about 45 minutes for those of you that want to jog. And then we do about 35 minutes for those of you that want to walk. And so it is okay. There's people out with their pets. There's people out with their kids and strollers, just out there having an amazing time. We just want to get the body active. We want people getting active. We want relationship currency built. So come out, meet somebody new in the city. If you're new to the city, it's an organization. There's no fee. To join this organization just to be active. You don't have to pay a fee. We just want you to have your body out there, be active, and show up. It does not cost anything at all. Come out there and meet new people, man.
Oh, man, look, I hope everybody in the audience takes Larry up on his invitation. Sounds like great networking, sounds like great bonding with those, and it sounds like it helps to not only build healthy habits, but get everyone out the house and enjoy this weather, man. It's the summertime. If you're not outside now,
come on, man.
There's no better time to be out there.
Vitamin D, man. They gotta get that vitamin D from the sun. You ain't gotta be out there all day. You're gonna be out there less than an hour. Vitamin D. After that, we go hang out and do brunch together. So it's just things to do, man. So
and let them know, Larry. For those who come out, you got the sunscreen. So anybody forget their sunscreen, we got sunscreen on deck for everybody, man. So look,
get that shiny skin.
On behalf of myself, Ric Davis, and the Texas Real Estate King, Larry W. Brooks, we want to thank everybody for tuning into this week's show. In the meantime, in between time, if you need anything, we're just a text, email, call, or direct message away. Until next time, here on Thursday in the noon hour, everyone in our audience, please be safe and be blessed.